Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. And in this one, I'd like to take a look at the many electrodes of GLC, because there's a surprising amount of electrodes in GLC, like more than I thought initially. So yeah, quite a lot of these guys. But yeah, what is GLC? For those of you who don't know, well, it's a single prize only, no Roblox format allowed. So even though Electrode did actually get a GX card in the Sun and Moon era, sadly we can't play it. You just have to play the single prize versions. It is a singleton format, except for basic energy, and you're only allowed one type per deck. So as for the basics, the Volt Orb, if you will, to just take a look at here as like an optimal choice, I think the 70 HP one with a retreat cost of 1 is probably your best bet, really. But there is some really nice ones, like you can get some shiny artworks which are cool, like the Floating Electrons ability is also quite nice on the one on the far right. Also the one with Destiny Burst is quite funny, so it has a 50% chance on its own KO, like you get to put 5 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon, so quite a nice way of saying, don't threaten my Voltorb, please. Especially if you want your Voltorb to survive into Electrode. You know, you've got a very useful Electrode. It's a good bench sitter or something. So yeah, I do think that Voltorb is quite funny. But yeah, moving on to the very first Electrodes, and we do have to rattle through quite a lot of these. The first three I just grouped together because I just honestly think they're all terrible, really. Like, even the Team Plasma one is just absolute rubbish. Like 100 damage for 3 energy isn't impressive anyway, but then it also does 100 damage to itself. So it's just like, okay, what's the point? You know, like Coin Flip Polarisis, kind of interesting, but I don't even think the Team Plasma support warrants you playing this Electrode. Like, it's just not very good, sadly. And as for the other two, well, they're pretty boring. So yeah, nothing really to say about them. Next up, those, we have a bit more of an interesting one from the set Roaring Skies. This has one of these continuous tumble attacks, which for 1 colorless energy, you flip a coin till you get tails, and you do 20 damage for each head. It's like, it's not great. Is it funny? Yes, absolutely. Like, there's going to be times where you do like 200 damage for no reason at all, because that's what RNG grants you in this game. But, you know, sometimes you're just going to flip 1 tails, and that'll be that. So you've done no damage. Bit worthless in that sense. But then Energy Bomb for a Lightning and 2 colorless, which I'm still really salty that double colorless was banned. But yeah, for Lightning and 2 colorless, Energy Bomb does 70, and you may move all energy from this Pokemon to your bench Pokemon any way you like. So that's kind of cool, because you could use like a reverse energy to do 70, and then you could also then just remove the reverse energy to another Pokemon on the bench, which is quite cool. So some fun little interactions with this Electrode. The artwork is very funny as well. What's that guy doing? Like, is he photocopying something? I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think the artwork's cool, but yeah, like overall, not the best Electrode, but you know, not the worst at least. Next up is we have a one from Evolutions. This one's really cool. It has the ability Buzz Zap Thunder, whereby you can knock out Electrode and actually attach it as 2 lightning energy, and it counts as a special energy card, which is really interesting. Now, unfortunately, there's also an Electrode that does a very similar thing, but it just charges up lightning energy and knocks itself out, which I think is just a bit better. And I say that because this can be discarded with Enhanced Hammer. Now, granted, not everyone's going to play Enhanced Hammer in GLC. That's not going to happen, you know, every single game. But I do think that one, like that other Electrode I'm referring to, is just a bit more consistent and a bit stronger overall, which is unfortunate because this one has some great artwork and I think it's really cool. So, you know, like I'm a bit of a sucker for the Evolution set. I really like the cards in it. But yeah, overall, it's a very playable one at the very least. Like, the attack is awful, but you know, it's playable for the ability. The artwork's nice. You know, gets a thumbs up for me at the very least. Next up, those, we have a one from Shining Legends, I want to say that is. Has the attack Swift, which does 60 damage, and it goes through resistance and any other effects, which is kind of cool, but isn't affected by weakness. So you'll only ever do 60 damage for 1 energy, which is like, yay, it's pretty bad. Also has free retreat, which is nice, but yeah, overall pretty bland, pretty boring. Probably won't see play. It's just kind of bad, you know. Next up is we have a one from Team Up and Hidden Fates to round out the Sword and Shield era. Did I say Sword and Shield? Sun and Moon era, that's the one. Has the ability Electro Shaker, this one on the left. When you play it to evolve one of your Voltorbs, you may move any number of light energy from your Pokemon around in any way you like. So that's kind of cool if you really need to reset the board, but like, just don't attach the energy to the wrong Pokemon. Like, you know, just be better at the game. Like, it's fine. You shouldn't need to use this kind of ability, basically. Like, there is some instances where, I mean, maybe if they ever print a lightning Pokemon that can just charge up a ridiculous amount of energy to itself, then, you know, you might warrant this. Then you can, like, move the energy to something else. But, like, I think right now, the current card pool, this Electro just isn't that impressive. But I do really like the wall artwork. I think it's really cool. So, yeah, I love the art. The ability's okay. It's a fine card. The other Electrode is just boring though, like Electro Blast, 60, Coin Flip, 90 damage, awful card. So yeah, we don't need to care about that. Next up though is we have the Sword and Shield ones, and yeah, the first one from Rebel Clash is pretty grim, like one color, search your deck for 3 energy. I mean, who cares? But this next one with Buzztrap Generator is the one that I was referring to earlier. So this one can knock itself out, and you get to search your deck for up to 2 Lightning Energy cards and attach them to your Lightning Pokemon any way you like. Really nice ability to have. It's kind of like reverse Magneton, like Magneton knocks itself out, and you get to accelerate 3 Lightning Energy from the discard pile, but this is from the deck, which is, I would say, a bit easier to make work in GLC because you're not rushing to discard the energy, so it's very playable at the very least. And if you want to run a different Magneton, or maybe, you could run both actually. You could run like that Magneton plus this Electrode, and that gives you plenty of flexible choice on like which abilities use when. So, even if you're not going to use both abilities in a game, it's just a bit more of a consistent way of guaranteeing that at least one of them happens, right? So that's kind of cool. You also get access to this lovely gold artwork, so if you really want to like splash out in rarity, then it's a nice option to have. So that's really cool. Next up is we have my personal favorite Electrode on this list, actually. One from Fusion Strike. This one has 2 fun attacks. The first one, Sonic Boom, just does 40 and isn't affected by weakness or resistance, but you can also play things like Karen's Conviction or use a single strike energy, which will boost your damage by plus 20, which is really funny. So, like, Sonic Boom can actually do respectable damage, at least for 1 energy. And then Explosion does 120, and you do 90 to yourself. So I did mention in one of my recent Many Of videos, I think it was in the Charizard one, that there is a tool card in Expanded called Protection Cube, which prevents all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks it uses. So if you were to put a Protection Cube on Electrode, you could just do 120 and not do the 90 to yourself, which is of course much preferable. Then you could use things like Karen's Conviction and the Single Strike Energy. And what's that lamp called? The one that like retrieves a Single Strike support from a discard pile. Yeah, like don't ask me now how I know all these cards, by the way. I just have to like skim through so many of them when I'm putting these videos together. But yeah, I think this Electrode is really cool. Like it has decent potential. Like if you're trying to build around single strike as well, then it's quite fun. So yeah, pretty cool overall. Next up is we have a one from Paldean. I think that's Paldea Evolved or something, not Paldean Fates. But either way, it's terrible. It's irredeemable nonsense. Like Ignition Energy, sure, lets you do 90 damage, but it's just so bad. Like it's just so bad. It's boring as well. I think a worse crime a card can be is just boring. Like I get it, we need bad cards in the game, but we don't need this many of bland, boring cards, especially of the same Pokemon. Like I would like to remind everyone that as of recording this video, Tyrantrum hasn't had a card since Forbidden Light, and Electrode is still getting more cards on and off since Black and White. So like, yeah, kind of crazy, really. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame. This Electrode is trash. Moving on, we have a way more interesting Electrode from Scarlet Violet, though, 151. Too bad that it's locked behind a special set, really. Like, that's kind of annoying. But it does have the attack Bang Boom Chain. Try saying that fast. For 1 line energy, does 20 damage, and before doing damage, you may discard any number of tool cards from your Pokemon, and you do 40 more damage for each card you discard in this way. So if you really want to build around tool drop with like Rotums and stuff, then here you go. It's a nice option. I don't think it's the best attacker in GLC just because you need so many tools all the time to get these big KOs. So you will have to play this with other attackers, surely. But still quite a potent attack at the best of times. And it does have a very nice shiny artwork as well. So yeah, quite a nice rarity upgrade if you fancy it. And then next up is we have a one from Journey Together because they just didn't stop printing Electrodes. It's crazy. But yeah, this one, again, is a bit risky. This Pokemon does 100 damage to itself. Yeah, that's it. Pack it up, boys. That's terrible. But you flip a coin, and if heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out. So a lot of combos here, like the Protection Cube that we mentioned earlier, so you don't have to take 100 damage to yourself, which is nice. And then you could pair this up with like Glimwood Tangle, so like there's another chance to reflip the coins. If you don't want to use Protection Cube and you don't mind Electro just KOing itself, then you could use Trick Coin to reset the coin flips. You could use Will, the supporter card, to like automatically guarantee a heads. So there is fun options. It's just a shame that most of these attacks are pretty terrible in GLC because like every Pokemon only gives up 1 prize. That's kind of the nature of GLC. So you're not really getting too much value from an instant KO with this. Like, sure, it's a nice trade-off into something like a Wailord that has 4 energy attached to it, but I think overall it's not really worth it. Not unless you really want to build around it with like Protection Cube and like Glimwood Tangle and stuff. But it's still a cool card, and because it's called Iono's Electrode as well, you can play it in your deck with another Electrode, which is cool. But yeah, I would like to say thank you for watching. I do a new set review for GLC with each new release, so do subscribe if you're interested in being updated. This is a series to stay, at least for the time being, so let me know which Pokemon you'd like to see. There's a list, we're getting through them, and a playlist has been made, but let me know what Pokemon you'd like to see down below. And if you want to dive into the competitive side, I would say that Omnipoke and the format creator Tricky Jim have both done fantastic videos and guides for each type. But yeah, it's been Ember Power. I hope you enjoyed Electrode, and yeah, thank you for watching.